Hello everyone, and welcome to our video that deals with social skill number 2, assertiveness. We tend to associate assertiveness with someone who is self-centered and always expressing their needs, maybe a little bit too loud. But in fact, assertiveness means that you express your needs, desires, requirements in a clear way that can be understood by others, and it is the most basic skill in communication. So now I want to give you 3 examples of the 3 types of communication, and you will see why assertiveness is the best one of them. Assertiveness means expressing, as I said before, your needs, desires, and requirements, and actually putting them out so that others can respond to them. Many times we think that we are not entitled to express our needs, we are afraid to express our needs, maybe we are unclear about our needs. Be clear about your needs. Sometimes we feel reluctant and we feel shy to express our needs and wants. And other times, especially in intimate relationships, we expect others to respond to our needs without actually expressing them. So we want them to read our minds, and if they don't, we tend to be very dissatisfied. Communicate your needs in a way that shows respect for the other. Communicating your needs does not mean that you try to overpower the others and make them do what you want all the time. It just means that you state your need and you check with the other person whether they are able to respond to your need or not. And these are the 3 examples of communication, of which the assertive communication is the effective one. There are these 2 types of ineffective communication. One is aggressive, when we try to make people respond to our needs, whether they want or not. So the aggressive communication uses blaming, name-calling, and verbal insults. It escalates arguments. So in aggressive communication, we try to use power in order to make people do what we want. We are demanding, so we order people around. And sometimes, if you are in a power position, people may do what you want, but if you're not, then your aggressive communication will make you feel frustrated. There is also the passive communication, when we don't dare to express our needs, when we think that either the other ones will not respond to them or that they are not valid enough. So in passive communication, we feel that we don't have the right to express, for example, anger. So when we are very angry, we say, I'm fine. We avoid arguments. So in order to avoid having an argument, we let other people do what they want, but then we feel frustrated that we went along with their way of doing things. Being non-committal. I'm not sure how to do this. I don't know. So saying all the time, I don't know, I'm not sure, is a passive communication in which you don't say what you need. The assertive communication means that you express yourself and you let others do the same. For example, I have thoughts about this, but what do you think? It's important also to use I statements in order to diffuse arguments, and I'm going to show that in a later video called The Art of Negotiation, how to use the I statements. So you talk about your feelings. I'm uncomfortable with that choice and I want to discuss it. I feel let down by the fact that you don't answer my phone calls. Assertive communication means that we ask and give reasons. So we explain what we expect. We explain our behavior. We don't expect other people to know what we want and to respond to our needs. So how do we use I sentences? Communicating your needs is a very basic skill for developing relationships and preventing conflict. So instead of attacking someone who did not meet your needs, start by speaking about your feelings and then go on to express your needs. So refer to feelings rather than judgment. When we blame or judge other people, they tend to move away from us and not respond to our needs. They get into a defensive mode and we either start an argument or we make sure that our needs will not be met when we blame the other person. Like, you created this mess, or you're lazy, you didn't do this, what I expected you to do. So try to avoid blaming the other. In many cases, passivity, yes, it's a good strategy for avoiding conflict, but passivity will not lead to good relationships in the future because one person tends to be frustrated because that person's needs have not been met. Talk about your feelings. I feel, so express how you feel. I feel, be very careful to make the difference between thought and feeling. Don't say, I feel you're stupid, because that is not a feeling, that's a judgment, that's a thought. Instead, think about emotions. What is it that you feel in your body when your needs have not been met, or when you want a certain need that is very important to you? For example, I feel abandoned that you have not answered my email in a few days. It's very important for me to have my email at least acknowledged and answered in 1 or 2 days. So that will be expressing your need. So expressing the need is important because it allows the other person to be clear about what we want and to check with their own life and see whether they are able to meet our need or not. And in the example before, I said this idea of I feel something because you didn't do something. I would like you to do things like this. That would be important to me. So don't say, for example, I think you're lazy. You should have finished this task a few days ago. Instead, say, I am concerned because this task needed to be finished a few days ago. Is there a reason that prevented you to finish it? It's very important for our team to finish this project in time, right? So then you express your feeling, the fact that you're concerned, you express the need, and you ask the person whether they are able to meet that need or not. Yeah, so try to avoid blaming at any cost. This is the golden rule in any form of successful communication. So expressing your needs can also work in the opposite way of the aggressive communication, like I said in the table. For example, you really wanted your partner to do the dishes, and because your partner didn't do them, you start slamming them in the sink, right, while you wash them. So that is a passive communication. You communicate your feelings of anger that you had a need that has not been met. So in the assertive communication, you state that I feel frustrated because I would have liked you to do the dishes. Do you think you can do the dishes? And then you start a discussion with the other person. So the golden rule of assertiveness is expressing feeling, expressing need, and checking if the other person is able or willing to respond to your need. So first, feeling, express need, and turn your need into a request. Check with the other person if they are able to respond to your needs. So we end up this video here. We'll continue with the video about flexibility and cooperation. Thank you for your attention.